as we mentioned, today we're gonna see how we're gonna make sure the end devices which are used to connect our corporate resources are secure enough of using MobileIron. So MobileIron's UEM vendor, they are unified endpoint management, and currently we are talking about three operating systems: iOS, Android, and Windows. So they all require UEM to work securely in enterprise. So nowadays, since people working from home, so everything happening remotely. Email communication, even their internal web application access being accessed through the remote devices. So with Mobilelron, we'll have a single pane of glass, so single dashboard, single policies and configuration for managing across those operating system. And currently, they have millions of devices protected under Mobilelron. So traditionally, when organization were like providing laptops for the users, they were having a traditional VPN connecting to the on-prem infrastructure to gain access to their backend service. Now, people, as and when the users started moving towards mobile, and the same organization, they are moving towards the cloud. So now the organization also need to put some security control in place to secure their on-prem infrastructure resources as well as if they have resources on the cloud. So Mobilelron as EEM will able to give or control both these type of accesses. So they are Mobilelron as a vendor. They are 7 years leaders in the quadrant, and they have 53 patents, and they have almost 1,000 plus customer developed apps, and they have 500 plus technology partners. If you want to have integration with any identity or analytics, you'll have a native integration. You can find that details in marketplace Mobilelron, and these are the 53 patents, and these are the few patents significantly mentioned for the Mobilelron. And they have industry recognized certification in place like SOC 2 Type 2 FIPS 142 and FedRAMP. So like we mentioned, so the perimeter, the traditional model, it's like giving access to their internal resources using a perimeter firewall. So the organization might have a client-to-site VPN established so that when an end user want to access, they'll have this VPN client installed, and upon authentication, it will give access to the backend server. And as and when we grow, and the industry also like they are growing from on-prem resources to the cloud. So we need to place proper control and security so that the user accessing those resources either on-prem or on the cloud, whether using a laptop or using their mobile devices. So we need to make sure the policy and access control are in place. So this is the high-level architecture of Mobilelron. So Mobilelron comes with the two main servers. One is the EM console and other is the Sentry. The EM console is the heart of the solution where you will manage devices, policies, configuration, users, groups, and everything. This EM console can be an on-prem server or it can be a cloud instance. Sentry is just a gateway or a proxy to connect to the backend on-prem resources. So when a device is registered, you will notice this orange box. So a logical container will be created. The reason is whatever happens inside the container stays inside the container, and we'll be doing some DLP features on it. So anything like copied or any email that's been shared within these apps will stay inside the container, and the container is encrypted on the device, separated from the personal application. Even if any app that is installed on the same device might be a malicious one and which is trying to read data from all other apps installed on the same device, that particular app cannot even read any data out of the application which is inside the container. So that is the main idea behind it. And on the left, you see these are the various application from mobile, and we'll see in the coming slides in detail. So we have this EM client and Enterprise App Store, Email Plus. I can show you Email Plus, and before that, if you notice, there is something called Bridge. Bridge is just a platform used to manage Windows 10 devices. So Bridge will be used to push PowerShell scripts, group policies, or exe files to be installed. So Bridge will be used to push it on the laptops which is having Windows 10. Access, it's again a cloud instance which will be used to control access for the cloud resources like Salesforce, Office 365, Dropbox, OneDrive. So you can say similar to Sentry, but the primary function of access is little different than what Sentry does. So we are not going to see much detail about access in this session. We'll see more on Sentry and UM console and other features. Apart from this, if you notice, there is something called Mobilelron threat defense. So there is one slide explaining what threat defense is and how Mobilelron helps to protect the end devices. So we'll see as and when we go through the session. If you have any questions, you can use this Q&A section anytime. So I'll try to answer at the end of the session. So these are the various EEM apps. We have Email Plus, Docs at Work, Web at Work, and Help at Work. And you'll have a customized terms of service. So when a user is registering for the first time, so they'll be prompted with this terms of service so that the user can accept it in order to continue with their registration. And this is a customizable HTML page. You can put your own logos, your own fonts, and you can mention. Apart from it, there is a privacy terms. So this will actually tell the user like what data has been accessed by the company and what data the company cannot able to access, like media files or message logs or phone logs or text messages or even email. So this is to ensure like a company when they want to try to register a device, they only concern it's their corporate resources, not their personal data. So their personal data remains private. As soon as whatever the policies and configuration, it is only for protecting their access to their corporate resources. And we have something called space. Space is like if you have region, if you have branches across the region and it has been separated by the geographical location. For example, you have one region in US, one in APAC, and one in EMEA, and you have one marketing team common for all. So you can create spaces for these groups. Okay, so each space will have their own admin, and each space will have their own set of configuration and users. Within each space, you can have you can link with your Active Directory, and you can have policies and configurations for a particular set of users, or even a link with the LDAP groups. So within, for an example, EMEA space, you will have one set of policies and configuration meant for IT department, and one set of policies and configuration application for the finance department. So likewise, you can integrate with LDAP and you can use those LDAP groups for pushing the apps or policies or configurations. And you have one global space which will have control for all other spaces. So AppConnect is a technology used by Mobilelron. So AppConnect, when you say app is AppConnect enable, we'll get all these features. We'll have user authenticated for the particular app, and you'll have a per app VPN. So when a app is inbuilt and you have a dedicated server on your premises, so there will be a per app VPN configured on the Mobilelron. So when the application is open, automatically that particular VPN will be triggered and connected to the particular backend server. That is how it works. And it has a separate encryption, and you'll have DLP, like you cannot copy, paste, block screen capture in Android and print in iOS. And if at all it is having any attachment or images, you cannot open or move it to any third-party application. Okay, so if application is built, whether it is iOS and Android, so we have a SDK available with Mobilelron. Through this SDK, the application can be wrapped. Let me go to this. Yeah, so this is the life cycle. So If you have an encrypted app developed in-house, so with the SDK available, it can be wrapped. Once it is wrapped, the app will become a AppConnect enabled, and then you can resign the app, whether it is iOS or Android. Then you can distribute using Enterprise App Store, the apps at work from Mobilelron. So you don't have to publish this app on Google Play Store, iOS, or App Store. You can publish using the Enterprise App Store. So the app will be available only for the employees, not for the public. So these are the DLP features when you enable inbuilt application as App Connect. So you will have control over copy control and open end. So you will choose enforce the DLP for the uh, inbuilt application using AppConnect. And you can also enforce a secure passcode for opening that particular application. And you can block print, like I mentioned, you can block screen capture, camera in the Android. So these are the difference if you have public and in-house private app. Public app, it's for an example, Facebook, WhatsApp, LinkedIn, those are all public apps. We cannot app connect or we cannot enable app connect on the publicly available apps. We can only enable app connect on the in-house private app. For an example, if you have a public app Microsoft Outlook and you have on-prem Exchange server, so how you make that connection from Outlook app to your backend server, that we'll see in the coming slides. Okay, so this is how the dashboard looks. So you can see device by status, device by complaint. This is actually on-prem core. I'll show a live demo on the cloud instance. And you have a device by ownership, device by operator, device by operating system types. And apps at work, it's the enterprise app store. So you can have your own app store pushed to the end user devices on top of their existing the operating system based app store like iOS App Store or Google Play Store. They'll have this enterprise app store which will contains those apps pushed by the Mobilelron admin. Like you can even pull application from publicly available apps like iTunes, Google Play, or Windows and make it available for the users. Or you can also have your in-house application like I showed in the AppConnect lifecycle. Once the app is wrapped and ready, signed and ready to be distributed, you can publish that in-house application through Apps at Work. And you can customize this Apps at Work. I'll show a live demo on that. And you'll have you can also feature the apps. You can put your own categories, you can put your own ratings, reviews, and you can also manage the updates. Like you can push the updates manually, or you can choose the user you can let the user to updates like how they are updating their personal apps. They can go to this app store and they'll find a separate update tab, and after checking the update tab, this will list any new updates been released for the app already installed on the same device. So using that, they can able to update it. And you can also have role-based app. So you can push set of application for HR department. You can have a set of application for IT department. So likewise, whatever groups you want or per user, you can push it. This is how it looks in iOS. This is Android, and this is the Windows app stores. Okay. So docs at work, it's sorry. Docs at work, it's a AppConnect app. So by default, apps provided by Mobilelron are AppConnect enabled. So you'll have the same DLP features or whatever, and it has its own VPN tunnel. It doesn't need to have a third party, not third party, another tunnel to reach your backend resources. So Docs at Work, the main purpose, it's like to connect your backend resources like SharePoint, or even if it is a local file share server, you can connect to the Docs at Work so that the user can able to access the documents from their account. And you can also connect to the cloud-based resources like Dropbox, OneDrive, or whatever, and it will be placed inside the secure. And any attachment which are opened in the Docs at Work can only be moved within the containerized app. So, for an example, if you have connected to a SharePoint and you want to send a file from the SharePoint to the email, so it can be only moved to the email plus, which will be placed inside the same container, and sent out as an email. It cannot be moved outside the container. For an example, you cannot move that attachment through WhatsApp or Facebook Messenger. And Web at Work, it's a secure browser from Mobilelron, and it's a AppConnect enabled, so it doesn't need a VPN. So it will make sure it is authorized and authenticated using the UM client. Automatically, it will reach to the backend resources. So you can have multiple VPN configuration. If you might have couple of web application in-house, so each web application might require a different set of network configuration. So you can have these per app VPN tunnel enforced on the web app. So when that particular website is open, automatically that VPN will be triggered, and the connection to the backend server will be using the particular VPN configuration, and you can have the data containerization. Like I said, it's a AppConnect-enabled app, so you'll have the DLP features enabled, and it supports all native web technologies. You can you all other AppConnect apps. You can have a secure passcode for opening it, and you can post share based wipe. You can set compliance policy. For an example, if the device is jailbroken, or if the device is rooted, or if the device is not reaching your core or UEM for X number of days, you can choose to do a selective wipe. Selective wipe will remove whatever app pushed by Mobilelron. It won't even do anything on the personal data. So, and these are the DLP features on the web at work. So any URL or any email link available on the website, it will be only open through the email plus, and you can block copying or mail links or message links or bookmarks from the browser. You can choose to have only bookmarks. This is the enabled one, and this is the disabled screenshot. And like I mentioned, so this is, I think I've already mentioned this. Any unauthorized, you can also have a list of app blacklisted and whitelisted. So if user choose to, or if a user is having a blacklisted app, so this UEM client, when they are opening this web network, it will first check whether the device is compliant or not. So if the device is not compliant, for an example, they have installed a blacklisted application, the web at work won't allow the user to proceed. So it won't even open. So the UM client will give a message saying, hey, your device is not in compliance, so remove this app, or reach the administrator for help, or to get access. So they cannot access the backend resources if the device is not compliant. So there is a difference between using web at work and the Safari, for an example. So we'll have encrypted browser data available only in the web at work, and browser passcode for opening the browser. The secure PIN code, it's only available in the web at work, and it is supported only for Android and iOS. Copy the DLP features can be enabled only in the web at work. You can still use Safari or Chrome on the mobile devices with the help of Mobilelron tunnel, which I'll explain in the upcoming slides. So if you use this combination, you will still have URL whitelisting, blacklisting, and you can also have the admin push for the bookmarks, and you can also have compliance settings saying if the device is jailbroken or blacklisted app is installed, the tunnel won't get triggered to access your corporate resources. Okay. Email Plus, it's secure email application for accessing the email. So it has all native experience syncing the contacts, calendars, and tasks, and it will have the DLP features enabled. So this is how it looks on the Android. So you have the email, contacts, calendars, and tasks, and you have a separate application passcode like any other AppConnect apps, and you have independent encryption, and you can block, copy, paste. And any attachment opened on the email plus will be open only in the docs at work. You can choose to block the attachment opening from third-party applications. Mobilelron tunnel, this is per app VPN tunnel. It's not a traditional tunnel. This Mobilelron tunnel is supported for iOS, Android, and Windows, as well as Mac. So third-party application, like I mentioned, the Outlook app. If we want to use Outlook app or Chrome or Safari, we might want to use the tunnel to connect to the backend resources. Since the tunnel it's from Mobilelron AppConnect, so this will check the device posture. and also check for the compliance. Only if the device is compliant and if it is authorized to reach the backend server, the tunnel will be established and automatically give access to the backend resources. And you have advanced traffic control. So you can also mention the internal proxy server to reach the backend servers, and you can like have a granular level of application control to which tunnel to be used for which application, which backend application, and which application will be used for which servers. All you can define in the ATC. And this, like I mentioned, bridge, it's specially used for the Windows for pushing configuration, group policy, any type of application deployment, any exe to be installed on the Windows machines. Bridge is a platform used to manage those and make sure to push it at the end users. And coming to threat defense, it's like Mobilelron is the only vendor which is having threat defense integrated with the same UVM client. So with Mobilelron, they have integrated with a vendor called Zimperium for this threat defense. And whatever happens, so the attacks can be differentiated into like three main categories. One is application level, and other is network level, and other third one is the device level attacks. Application level, it's like any malicious app getting or being installed on the devices. Network level, it's like when a device is trying to connect to an insecure Wi-Fi where man in the middle attack can happen. And device level attack, it's like jailbreaking or rooting device or unsupported version of the operating system. So those will be considered as a device attack. So any attacks been identified from these categories, all the remediation will happen on the device itself. So there is a local action push from the mobile UEM. So this will make sure there are several types of attacks defined in the UEM local action. So you can choose to, like, for an example, if the device is jailbroken, you can block access to the corporate resources, and you can also quarantine the device, or you can simply notify the user and the admin saying, hey, your device is being rooted or jailbroken, go back to normal to use the corporate resources. Or there is something called DNS sync hold. So when a device is trying to connect to an insecure Wi-Fi or any attack which I have mentioned, any attack if the device detects, so there will be VPN pushed. So this VPN configuration, it connects to nothing, means the device cannot reach to internet. Okay, so there will be a null value in the VPN. So when any it's been detected, any threat been detected on the device, automatically this VPN will be triggered and it will block whole internet access from the device unless until the issue has been resolved. For an example, if a malicious app has been installed, and once the UVM client detects that as a threat, automatically this VPN will be triggered and the device will lose the internet connectivity. And only after removing that particular malicious application, then the VPN will be automatically turned off, and the user can again start using mobile for even for the personal use or even for the corporate use. So this is a very brief about mobile iron threat defense. If you have any queries, just use the Q&A session. Or if you want more details, let us know. We can have a one-on-one session after the session. Okay, so Windows. So Windows, we have. So for an example, they want to, like, now everyone is using work from home, so you can do the system imaging over the air. So all they have to do is they'll make sure they'll register, and the predefined apps or whatever group policies want to be pushed will be automatically pushed over the air, and there is the workflows will be automated, and you can make sure when Windows connecting to any type of network, it will make sure it is connecting to a secure network using the tunnel. So the tunnel will make sure, yeah, the device posture, everything is in compliance, so it will allow the tunnel access to the backend resources. And it's again the same dashboard to control multiple consoles. So this is how the life cycle of Windows is. So initially it will be provisioned, and you can push the configuration, and you can enable the policies and configuration for protection. The security policies, those will be, for an example, the Windows laptop should have a minimum of 6 character, or you can define password complexity to be met. If the password complexity is not met, and they cannot able to proceed with the registration, so they'll have to make sure the password complexity is met, then it will go ahead and proceed with the registration process. Once the registration is done, it will start pushing the application and group policies or whatever. And once the application everything is pushed, it will make sure the device is compliant. So once it is compliant, they can able to use the corporate resources, or even use whatever policy has been defined by the admin. And if the user left the company, or if the device is stolen, you can always do it off life, meaning you can push a wipe command from the EM console. So this will wipe. You can do both, like you can do a selective wipe, or you can do a whole wipe of the laptop. So this will remove all the data or configuration pushed to the laptops. So with Mobilelron, we are making sure everywhere the data is secure, whether it is a data at rest or data in motion or using the cloud services. Data at rest, we have this Mobilelron Core and cloud. Data in motion, we have this tunnel and sentry, and cloud services using Mobilelron Access. So this is my end of the session, not the slides. So let's get into a live demo. If you have any questions, you can use this. Use the Q&A session. Okay, so let me show you. So this is my iPad, and this is the UM client. So if you see, as I've already registered, it is asking for the Touch ID, which is integrated. So if the device supports Touch ID or Face ID, so you can integrate it, and it will be supported. So this part, you're saying this is the threat defense. So currently there is one threat phone. We'll see, because it is showing us the device is jailbroken, because the operating system which is installed, it's not supported, and it's not a public release. Currently I'm using iOS 14, so that is the reason it is showing as jailbroken. Okay, and you can see the device is, it's connected to the cloud, and the device is not compliant. So currently my security policy states that only to notify for any kind of non-compliance or any kind of threat. So I'll still have access. I can still use the app push by Mobilelron, but it won't do any kind of block. And you can log in and see. Let's. So this will show what are the devices activated under Mobilelron. So you can have check for updates. You can have the entity diagnostics. So it will show what threat policy has been updated, phishing databases, all these things. And this is the one what company can access, and the personal data remains personal. What action my company take: erase the device, lock the device, clear device passcode. Okay. So this is the email plus. So if you notice, if I open, automatically it will go to Mobilelron network. And since it is like device is not compliant, that is why it is not letting me to open. Let's ignore that. See again. So I'll have to, yeah. But meanwhile, let me show you this. So this is my VM console. This is my console. You can see device by operating system type, invitation type, devices by model. So you can see the devices, how many devices been registered. And this is my iPad details. So if you see, notice this is a exclamation mark. Right? The device is compromised. So that is why, and the compliance section, it's monitor only. Even though I have set monitor only, it does not allow me to open email plus. So you can like see how secure it is. Okay, let's quickly show you how it works on the other device. Okay, so this is an Android device, and if you notice, there is a difference at the bottom. You have a personal space and there is a workspace. All your personal app will be in this space, and all your work-related apps pushed from Mobilelron will be here. You can notice there are some applications from Mobilelron like Email Plus and Docs at Work, but there are other applications like Gmail, TeamViewer, Google Drive, Messenger, Play Store also available in the same devices. And you notice this small briefcase icon. This means it is Android for work. So you'll also notice the same application. It's also in my personal. So Messenger, quick support, it's there, but without the briefcase symbol. Means these are my personal app and this is my work app being managed by Mobilelron. So when the device is retired or something pushed by the admin, it will be removing data only from the workspace, not from the personal space. And okay, and you can also for if you have a user who's having issue with your their devices saying like something is not working, so you can always go to that particular user and you can take a remote control. So start team viewer. So team viewer. Actually, it is prompting. I can show you here. This is prompting for me to accept since it's I have registered as a device owned by the user. So now it is. You can see the admin can able to remotely help the user. Can simply so they can able to see what is happening and they can able to remotely help the user. So this is the remote support for Android, and the same can be achieved with the iOS as well. So let's close this. Let's go back. Okay. So yeah, and here you can see it's email. And you can see the docs at work. The user can use the docs at work and they can connect to their own cloud resource or any resource, SharePoint, network drive, Box or Dropbox, cloud storage, or the user can push the configuration from the cloud or the EM console itself. Okay, so this is the quick demo. And if you have any questions, let's see if you have any questions. So if you have any questions, you can use the Q&A session. And I'm done with the session today. And if you want any queries, you can always reach us. Yeah. Okay. Then if no questions, then I'll sign off. Thank you. Thank you for joining today's session.